Hello, I'm Pastor Cecile.
Hi, I'm Odile.
I'm Richard.
Hi, I'm Lizzie.
Let's chit chat.
Let's do just
Let's
that.
chit chat. Today's topic, guys, is very important. It's very good. It's very exciting. It's very enlightening. The topic goes like, is it easy to forgive and forget, or one out of the two is sufficient? Can you forgive and forget, or can you forgive and not to forget? And what will make you forgive someone, and what will make you not to forgive someone? Are there things that you can easily forgive and not easily forget? Or are there things that you can forgive and forget? The floor is yours.
This is a very interesting discussion because my initial take on this was quite simple. Having spoken to several people on this discussion, including your good self at one point, we can see that it mushrooms, and I can tell you it mushrooms into so many different directions. From my personal point of view, as a man and as Richard, I thought it was case closed. It's a very good thing to forgive people, and I find it easy to forgive people. Forgetting is something that I thought is very difficult as a human being. And as a human being, we're not robots. So how can we literally forget something? What I've come to find out in addition is, and I'd like to put this to your good selves, is it wise to forget? Because if we don't know our past, as the great Bob Nestor Marley said, if we don't know our past, you won't know your future.
Know your future. Well, I'll take it to the other lady. The Bible says you must forgive. So, do you find it easy to forgive? Can you forgive? And can you also forget?
Yes, I think it's. From my own experience, is more healthy. Is healthier. It's for my own, and I see it's helping me. So when somebody does something for me, it's easier to tell myself, you know what, it's not worth it, and then I forget it. And because the problem is that if you don't forgive someone, you're in pain all the time, and you're the one struggling. And something as well I notice is that sometimes we tend to dramatize or make things bigger than they are. So if you talk to the person, you let the person know what is happening. Because sometimes somebody does something to you and you take in such a big stand, you make it such a big deal, then the person doesn't realize that is what that has caused so much impact on you until you talk to them.
Right.
And then sometimes you realize, oh my God, so it wasn't such a big deal, but you made it such a big deal. If you don't talk to the person, they won't know, and you yourself wouldn't even feel at ease. But once you have spoken to the person, it makes it so, And or sometimes you say, you know what, it's not worth it for me. This is not. It's not that big. It's nothing. It's nothing. And I forget about it. No, I forget. I forgive. In my mind, it's not that, but it doesn't mean that I can forget. Because I think everything that happened to us, your brain is like a computer. Then you register, but it doesn't mean they will make you feel so much emotional, but they're there.
Okay, then I'll go to Sister Elizabeth. You know, forgiving and forgetting is two things. Sister Odile just said that. Someone can cause you harm. They go about their way. They don't even know that they done you anything wrong. But you carry that burden in you. When you see them, you like, you don't want to see them. You hear their name, you go, But you are carrying that heaviness. But they're not even sure. They don't even know. They're going about their lives. You carrying that. Is it easy to forgive and forget?
I would say in the first place, it's good for your own health, as Odin said. It's better for you to forgive somebody, so that the weight that is upon you, your health, your happiness. I'm a happy person, so I won't allow anybody to take my happiness. No, to quench it. No. I think about that particular thing. I think about myself first. What is the point for me to hold Richard inside my heart. And Richard is
not just hold, to carry him.
Yes, yes. And then him himself, whether he knows or he doesn't know, he just move on his life. And I'm in pain, sitting here and crying. What is the point? I put that one in a question mark. And again, as we are all Christian, whether you are Christian or you are not Christian, I think about my labor. If I'm not well, how am I going to enjoy that labor? Because Bible says you eat the fruit of your labor. So for that fruit, eating, enjoy my labor alone, I'll have to let it go.
Okay.
But as for forgetting, that forgetting, you know, life is full of training. If somebody offends you, if nothing crick Brother Richard, he will never offend me. So I will learn from that experience, but I won't use that one against him anymore.
Okay, so now you just said something. If you will learn from that experience, I'll put that in question mark, I'll put that in box, because when you're learning from experience, meaning that you will not expose yourself perhaps to what the person has done to offend you. That could be that, or if they've done something to offend, or I've done something for them to offend me, so next time I need to know how to walk around with that person. Nelson Mandela said at one point that forgiveness or holding someone to your heart is like you drinking poison and you expecting your enemy or the person that you're holding offense to die. So you are drinking that person and you expecting that person to die. So that's how he puts not forgiving someone. So meaning that not forgiving a person is a poison to your system, to your body, to your mind, to your spirit, and to your soul.
It's a good analogy.
Therefore, you have to be able, in order for you to live happily, because mind you, if someone offends you and you holding that person, meaning that the person is controlling you. The person is controlling your mood. The person is controlling your happiness, because they can easily come and go in your environment, and once they're there, you're no longer yourself. So will you then allow someone to control you because of non-forgiveness? Richard, you also said something earlier on that it depends of what's going on. But for you, you rather forgive very easily. Now, let me put it that way. Are there things that you can easily forgive and easily forget, or are there things that you cannot easily forgive and easily forget? I bring that because when I was doing my counseling course, there were topics where we have to choose. They were, if someone kills your child, will you forgive them? If someone rapes your child, will you forgive them? If someone is a pedophile, will you forgive them? If someone is a wife beater, will you forgive them? So there are level of issues and situations that will make someone say, oh, I need prayer in order, because forgiveness doesn't come like you wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm forgiving you. Oh, I'll move on. It will come back again. Someone will do the same thing again and you get back to the same place again. So,
is forgiveness a choice? Is forgiveness a choice, or is it a gift, or is it something that irrespective takes time?
I would say it's a choice, but at the same time it's a gift as well. Because there's nothing that which I know which you are not desire to have it, that you will have it. You can take it or obtain it. Why? Because I want to forgive Sister Cecile that she has offended me. She raped my daughter. Touch wood, she will never do that. And whether I let it go, she has already done it. Whether I hold it, she has already done it. And it takes only maturity that think about yourself, think about your health, think about the situation, that no matter how I will take it. Like, let's say somebody has killed someone or drag you into prison. Whether you forgive the person, you're still there. Whether you hold it, the person has passed away. So why don't you just let it go and be yourself?
Well, I mean, the thing
It's
is
not that easy.
It's not that easy, and it's also depends on the individual and the level of your understanding of your own life. Because I think some of us has had a lot of traumatic experience, and it's only going through certain step in life where either you talk to somebody who help you to understand the meaning of that, because there are certain things that happen to us and we don't really understand why, because you're like, oh my God, I didn't do anything wrong to you, why are you doing this to me? And you don't understand unless you go through certain step to understand that, look, it has happened, it happened, and for you to be free, you need to forgive that person and let go. Because I think we, as human beings, we are very, very good at putting ourselves in prison. So things happen in people's life. You feel guilty. You think it's because of you that has happened, or our children or husband or whatever. You feel that and you hold it so hard on yourself that you can't let go. And until you understand, you go through those steps, you wouldn't even forgive either yourself or anyone else.
Learning from
So
it.
I don't think it's like a gift is something that you can learn. So it can be a gift because some people are very good as well at just making things like, oh, that's
They're
nothing.
disappearing.
And you know what?
I take from what Odile just said that, and from you, what you said as well. You said it's maturity, and you said things are happening in our lives where we kind of blame ourselves. Now, you can easily go and forgive somebody else. I can easily go and forgive Richard for what he has done to me. But therefore, I'm holding myself accountable or captive for what he has done to me. So that is not forgiveness, because I don't express it to Richard because I'm holding myself captive to it. I will express it to Odile. So as much as I'm a victim, I will cause other people to be victim of what I've been victimized with. So it's like, this one offends you, you don't probably offend him back. You hold it and you go and offend somebody else. So it becomes easier to offend people because you have been offended. You might have forgiven him. You have not forgiven yourself. So the next person now will be a victim. But you said something about it takes maturity. To me, there's so many mature people who don't know how to forgive.
Oh, definitely.
To me, I think it's a personal growth.
Yeah.
You have to grow within you and grow within God, because the Bible says through prayer it's not easy to forgive. But once you pray and you grow and you understand yourself and you understand the reason why it happens, and you understand that you cannot hold yourself captive, neither the other person, then the process of forgiving will now start coming. Richard, you were about to say something, sorry.
Well, I was just listening attentively to what you're saying about forgiveness. Are there some things that are unforgivable?
That's a good one.
I mean, the Bible, I think, says that to sin against the Holy Spirit.
77 times 7, so meaning that people will carry on offending and you have to carry on forgiving.
I would say I've been through a lot of let's say trauma, a lot of different type of situation, which let me put it, if somebody being abused, and then meet somebody who doesn't abuse those people, they don't see you real person as good person, because they get used to it. Unless you get somebody to counsel you and say, look, what Richard is doing to you, Cecil, is wrong. And then you think back and say, oh yes, it's wrong, and now I understand. I think all of us work in the health sector, so we understand the point where we are coming from. I learned how to forget certain things. I just get you out from my mind. I decide, why do I have to hold you in my heart? And then feel bad and keep thinking about the same issue. If you hold somebody in your heart, you can't move forward. And every movable person learn how to let it go. And if I said I forgive you, totally forgive you. But before I forgive you, one thing that I've learned, I let you know that Brother Richard, what you did to me is wrong. Please, next time don't do that to me again. I open, no matter who you are, I'll find a way to find possible communicate with you. So far as I've informed you and let you know that what you did to me, please don't do that to me. That's it. I don't have it anymore in my heart. That's me a way of forgiving and forget. I forget you. I don't have time to.
Odile was saying something, and you just said something that it comes within you now, and it comes within the environment. What I take is that, okay, we all have our self-worth.
Yeah.
So people been abusing you, your self-worth is gone.
Yeah.
Therefore, the environment will mold you into what the environment gives you. But the saying is that the life gives you lemon, you make a lemon juice out of it. Sometimes the life gives us lemon, we don't make a lemon juice out of it. We take it, we agree to it. So somebody else will come and do the same thing to you because you're so familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
You agree to it and you take it. Like you said, you don't even know that it's been inflicted on you that much, but it works within you and it works in you. That's where forgiveness now becomes very difficult, because you tend to now put yourself vulnerable. You become very vulnerable to abuse or to offense all the time, because that's what you know. Remember, we're always looking for a familiar pain. A familiar pain, meaning that if you've been abused so much or you've been affected so much, if I come with love, because love is not familiar to you, I will be very strange to you. I will be suspecting me. But if someone comes in with that same pain, that same love or suffering, familiar suffering that you know, you tend to be hooked onto that person because that's what you know, that's what you love. So that pain that you're familiar with. Therefore, someone like that, it also becomes difficult for them to forgive, because they're always looking for the pain that they're familiar with. They're looking for the suffering that they're familiar with. Somebody else bringing something else is quite difficult to them. So forgiving and forgetting is...
I think what I would say is that I've seen people go through all their life, like holding so much about what happened to them, what someone did to them in the past. So for me, I mean, I understand you can say it's easy, I'll forget and forgive and forget. I think it's so hard. I think it's really hard. Unless you work on that issue, that part, it's easy to brush things. Sometimes I'm in situations where I close doors. I say, you know what? You did that. Honestly, how much am I losing if I don't talk to you? Not much. You know what? Please stay your way, I stay my way. It doesn't mean that I have forgiven you. It doesn't mean that I have forget.
We're cheating and chatting here.
I think
you're deciding to avoid.
I don't think you are making so much an impact on my life that it's worth me hanging around you. And I'm sure the same goes with you and me. So when we are talking about things that are so dear to us, I think unless you sit down or you go through certain therapy about the person, whether they're involved or yourself, then, and also one thing I notice is that there are things that are so dear to us. We hold on to them about that particular episode of what need to be forgiven. But there's some element on it that are so you can't let go. Because what I understand is that when I forgive, I have let go. That thing, it doesn't exist anymore. But then I feel like, oh my God, I have let go of that.
So you want to hold it. You want to hold it. You want to hold it.
Wonderful.
I don't know.
Wonderful.
No matter what that, like what I said earlier on, no matter how dear the thing is, it's like broken glass. Whether you connect it back or you clean it or you sweep it, how it has already broken. So you have to think about, how am I going to get the next one? That's me. How am I going to get the next one?
Sister, I'm not stopping you. So all I'm trying to say is that it may be something that is good for you, but some people in their life, that thing is what keeps them going, holding on to that.
What is so important than your own life?
No,
I don't know. This heart, is where God dwells.
But
so I won't put anything inside that will affect my health.
But Sister Elizabeth, from what you're saying, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're saying that you're forgiving. You're just saying that, you know what, let me move on, let me forget about it.
I forget if I don't forgive. If you offend me and I don't forgive, that's one thing about me. I can't flow with you. If I know and I say, oh, yesterday whatever happened, then let it go, and I see you, my face here can tell you that no, there's something. Come on. But if I said I leave, I just let it go. We have so many things which used to be, so important, precious for us, which we have lost it in life. Have you lost your sight before? You haven't lost your child before. You haven't somebody having damaged your hand. Something like a scar.
No, but sister, I mean, some things to different people.
I know. That's why we are trying to educate people. No matter how that thing value, it has already gone.
Yeah.
And nothing value me in life than our health, our soul, our well-being. If you are lost a husband today and you look good, you look so happy, tomorrow you can find somebody. Somebody can be even better than that person. That's me. If you lost a child and somebody has killed your child, you can go and adopt another child. Oh, yes.
So
there is a way.
It's so to you.
I know it's easy.
Sister Elizabeth, let us comment on what you have said. You have said a lot.
No, I'm just saying it's so easy. I mean, we all can sit here and say, oh, yeah, I forget and I move on. But life is not like, I don't think like it's that easy. But I'm saying that for me, it's good to forgive.
I think we all agree on that.
Because it's good for your own growth, your own well-being. However, it's the process. Because I think it doesn't come like that.
No.
It doesn't. You need to. And for some people have been, it's been very traumatic. Imagine, so you build your life with your husband, for example, this is the only man in my life, and you have given them everything. And then one day they come to you and say, look, honestly, I can't do this anymore, It is heartbroken because everything around you don't know, how am I going to start? So this is where you have to work, on yourself, and you need to first understand that I'm going to forgive myself first. You understand? I didn't do anything wrong. It's a gradual process. It's not just something that I wake up and say, I love my life so much, I'm forgiving you and I let go. No, I have to. Otherwise, even the next relationship, you will carry that. If you don't work on certain aspects of certain things when they happen, and you say to yourself, I'm just talking from an experience, it's like something that happened to me. It nearly destroyed me. And for years, I carried that. I didn't understand why it happened until I forgave myself. Until I didn't do it myself. I sat down with somebody and I said, look, this happened. And the person is like, but that has nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything. It was not. I would say I lost my sister, but I felt bad. Her loss was so much to me that I'm like, why didn't I intervene? Why didn't I do this? So I felt guilty, but it wasn't nothing to do with me. But it took me so long to forgive myself. First to realize that, it wasn't my fault. And then I started healing. So it's not something that to say, and I loved my life. I had my kid, I had everything else, but just her loss was just too much and I couldn't see anything else. So I think, we need to help people to say, okay, when you sit down with yourself, try to analyze it, try to see if you need help, seek for help.
Yeah, because so from what you said, really forgiveness start from oneself before you go and forgive somebody else. Because we ourselves, we put people the main important things in our lives, so they control our movement, they control our mood, they control our happiness, they control our well-being. So therefore, if I don't give you the power to hurt me and hold you to myself, you will not hurt me, because whatever you do, it's not going to affect me.
Exactly.
But because I've given you a certain power, a certain position in my life, or a certain place that maybe I shouldn't have given you in the first place.
Yeah.
That's why I allow you to now come in and hurt me. But forgetting part of it, if the thing carries on, let's say I have a wound, you wound me, and I have this wound. Today you come back and scratch it,
yeah.
and tomorrow you come back and scratch it. That is where the forgetness comes in, because you might want to forget, but then the person comes back and put in. So before we end, one question that I want to put in: does that mean that if you forgive someone, you have to allow them to still be in your life, or will you forgive them, or tell them stay away? We have just limited minutes to go, very limited.
We need a part 2 and part 3 to this. I tell you,
But I'll pick one word or two words on that one.
I will answer that one, but you said, I forgive you, come back and scratch me. But sometimes you forgive somebody and the person come back and scratch you. You need to assess the part of what happened, what triggered the person to come back and do the same thing, and seek for correct. If somebody is going through a tough time, I myself, what helps me to be able to forgive people, I seek right counselor.
Okay, brilliant. So you need support, professional support, professional counselor, to be able to know where you are going wrong and how you have allowed that person to have that much power in your life.
And be honest to yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean, I will agree with that, because sometimes human beings, we tend to think that we are so strong, but we don't know when we need help, when we know that, oh, I can't do this by myself. And I mean, friends, you can just talk to people, because I think we tend to keep certain things in us, and they get the right person. It doesn't matter whoever. If you cannot afford a professional person, there are some church people, there are some very good people who are there to listen. And I think a problem share is already halfway resolved. Yeah.
Richard?
There are deeper depths. I say deeper depths to this discussion. And one thing, listening to the heart that you have for not only each other, but circumstances you've come across. Is forgiveness a weakness? Is that forgiveness issue more of a choice, and can it even be politicized? An example, we are all of African stock. Do we remember slavery? How many times are we told to get over it? We remember the Holocaust. Lest we forget, we always remember. We're told time after time, do not forget. Is our let's get over it a sign of weakness and we don't want them to deal with that, because that was a real heavy issue with current repercussions.
As we are just closing, thank you so much, Richard. I don't think I will say forgiveness is not a weakness. Anyone who forgives, you're very strong, you're very powerful. That's why you're able to work on yourself, to work on that issue, to grow more and to forgive. And plus, it's good for your health. It's good for your future, and it's good for your next step. Until we meet next time again, thank you for listening. Please contact us, tune in, follow, share, subscribe. Our next topic is going to be exciting. Let's chit chat. Thank you for being with us today. It's been great discussing this topic. Thank you.
All the best.